Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. Before we begin, just want to remind you to like, subscribe, follow wherever you listen to us so you don't miss any episodes or bonus stuff that we do. I'm Sandra.
I'm Karlee, and today we're just going to go a little bit off-road with the Winchesters because at time of recording...
And Karlee was like, no. Karlee was like, I'm done.
Oh,
Karlee was like, I'm done.
I was not. No. I will not have this blatant abuse of my character. No, she said to me, do you want to do something about the Winchesters? Because I watched it before she did, and I was like, I've watched the Winchesters. I have feelings. And she was like, I'm going to watch it tonight. Hold that thought. And then didn't come back to me with anything. Just went, could we talk about this on an episode? And I was like, yeah, sure, fine. She went, I'll make notes because there's notes. So we're going off-roading with the Winchesters. At the time of this recording, I'm assuming it's going to come out in the next week or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's Friday. So the episode came out on Tuesday if you're in America, Wednesday if you're watching it illegally somewhere else. Mentioning no names. We should get Nord to sponsor this. Nord sponsors things like this. We should get Nord to sponsor this. So we're coming at this from different places. Mm-hmm. The first place we're coming at this differently is she got like how many pages? 2 pages of notes. 2 pages, like 2 pages of notes, and I have no notes because I thought she meant let's just write some shit down. And what she did was dive into the law. So I am woefully unprepared for this. Secondly, Sandra feels like maybe there are 2 camps with the Winchesters now. Camp 1, after the last episode, being, I wonder what's happening now. What if this? What if that? That's Sandra's camp. It looks nice over there. Over in Camp Dickhead, we're going, I'm fucking done with this show. I'm so over it now. This is so dumb. So, if you're in Camp Dickhead, the cookies are over there. But I thought we'd take a detour into camp. I wonder what happens next. So, Sandra, you've got 2 pages of thoughts. Fill us in.
Well, so when the episode first started, and I realized there was going to be, when it was Loki in it, my original thought process was, I was thinking, is it Loki or is it Gabriel? Because I was trying to figure out the timeline, right? Like from when Gabriel kind of went undercover as Loki, and would it have been that far back? All of that kind of stuff. So my brain started going, and I watch it with my husband. He's into it too with me. But this was, and I was saying to Karlee too, this is one of the first ones in a while where it just didn't feel like another monster of the, which you know how I am about Monster of the Week episodes. Like it's like a hit or miss thing with me. And I know they weave in different stuff, but I just wanted to know, like, where are they going to go to get us to the point where then all of this stuff with John is just irrelevant and it's wiped. So when I saw Loki, immediately I was like, oh, okay. Angels. Here's an angel. But then, Ted brought up a good point. He's like, well, it could just be Loki. And I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, that's probably right. So what was your thought when you saw him?
I assumed it was Gabriel
because
he'd been hiding out as Loki for quite a while. So I assumed it was Gabriel. And like when he was pretending to be a trickster, I just assumed the mirror thing was just another trick. And the next time that they opened that chest, it would be gone. So I assumed it was Loki.
Yeah.
I assumed it was Gabriel pretending.
So again, originally I thought Gabriel, but now like looking back at the show and trying to piece together a timeline, and based on what they did, I was like, okay, I think that was actually just Loki. So would you like me to read a little bit about my timeline as to why I think that's the thing now? Or would you?
I mean, you can do.
Okay.
You can do. I'm interested. Okay. I'm interested. We're taking a detour in camp. We're really invested in the show.
So I was already thinking about that before the thing at the end with Dean. Like that was just really bugging me because I was like, is this where it's going to start? And is this where they're going to, you know, just start messing shit up? So based off the timeline as to now, when we're going back and forth between Winchesters and Supernatural to kind of like to bridge the gap, right? To try to make sense, whatever sense, which is, as everybody keeps pointing out, doesn't make a difference because they're just going to, throw it in a blender and mix it all up anyway. But so around 1972, which is where the Winchesters is at time-wise, Loki's imprisoned in his hand mirror. And John, Mary, Carlos, Lotta, Samuel all get together to do that fancy pants thing. And then the hand mirror is locked away in the Men of Letters bunker in Lawrence, Kansas. So if we take that into consideration, and that's Loki. So we have to think that sometime between, say, 1972 and 2006 is when Gabriel comes to Earth to get away from the infighting between Michael and Lucifer and all the apocalypse stuff that's starting to hit the fan. So in my mind, I think during this time, Gabriel finds Loki, I would think in the Men of Letters bunker, and rescues him because he does make mention of that he rescued and befriended Loki. So that would make sense as to where that happened, at least. Like that's where Loki was. Because if you assume he was locked up, who else is going to get him out of there? You know what I mean? So I was like, well, maybe that's when Gabriel found him. Then they made this deal. Sure, take on my persona, hang out, do what you want to do since you're trying to get away from your family or whatnot.
Hide.
So between 2006 and 2007 on the show is when Sam and Dean first encounter Gabriel as Loki. And that's in the episode Tall Tales. And then we get the whole thing around 2010 where Gabriel fakes his death. He got stabbed by Lucifer in the episode Hammer of the Gods. Then after that, he hides out in Monte Carlo with his porn stars. And from what I had to go back to this because the one episode that you get a lot of this backstory on is a really confusing episode to me. It's Unfinished Business in season 13 because there's so much exposition from Gabriel about like what he did. It's like that. It's the episode where he goes and like he slays the gods and stuff, like his revenge thing. So so it sounds like he was aided by the demigods and who are sons of Loki. But then something must have happened where they turned on him, maybe worried about Lucifer finding out that they'd assisted Gabriel and that Lucifer would go all like seeking retribution and whatnot. So then they delivered him, Gabriel, to Asmodeus, one of the princes of hell. And then that's when Asmodeus tortured, fed off Gabriel's archangel grace. And then
sewed his mouth shut.
Yeah. And
Sad
then
face.
after that, around that time when you get that, info dump, then Ketch freed Gabriel from Asmodeus' imprisonment. Gabriel seeked revenge against the gods, again, in Unfinished Business. Then went on to help Sam and Dean go to Apocalypse World to find Mary and Jack, and in the process got killed. And then that was like end of Gabriel.
For real.
Yeah.
Sad face.
So that's why I basically had all these notes because it was like I had to make sense of when do I think he was pretending to be Loki. And based off the fact that, and I don't know, did we ever see a hand mirror when he was pretending to be Loki?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
that actually points to it being the Norse
Loki.
god Loki as opposed to Gabriel pretending.
That's what I'm thinking too. So I'm thinking like all of those different parts. Plus, trying to remember too, and I keep going back to like Jessica's interview where she talked about how the archangels like didn't necessarily like do striptease changes or whatever and stuff like that. So I was trying to go back to I know you'd see Gabriel switch people in and out, right? But then he'd always go back to what he was sort of wearing at any given point. Like it wasn't like snap fingers
so like
something else.
In changing channels, because I just watched that recently. So Dean walls up fake Dr. Sexy, and it just the body morphs into Gabriel, but he's still wearing the Doctor outfit. Yeah.
So I saw Loki do that with when he was at the bar when he was wearing the fedora and the suit and stuff. But then when he was changing out into different people, I mean, you could see him just change like the whole outfit entirely, but then he would go back to what he was wearing. So again, like I'm like,
maybe the god
still seemed kind of consistent with like, at least like part of it. So I was like, all right, so maybe that is why that's Loki. So, and plus just the mustache. I don't know. I was going to go back and watch Unfinished Business and see if he had a mustache as Loki, but I don't think he did. But I don't remember. Does Richard Spake usually have a mustache, but it's just not as pronounced? For some reason, I could not remember.
No, that's Richard Spake's actual facial hair currently. Because I said that to my husband. I went, I think that's how Rich looks now. And he was like, it looks fake. And I'm like, I don't think it is, though. I don't think I do think he do look like that. He's had like, let me see if I can pull up something.
So,
recent.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess my thought process was, well, why would they do this now? Like, why are they bringing him in now? And I'm like, is this a precursor to, kind of maybe throwing you off, like, because again, it's never really stated. So I feel like it's more open-ended. Like, was it Loki or was it Gabriel? So in my mind, again, initially, I just automatically went Gabriel. But Ted was like, well, might not be. And I was like, okay, well, let me look back. So now I'm thinking more, like, I don't think he could have been pretending to be Loki for decades. But I have a feeling that if they're going based off of like Gabriel wanting to get out of heaven because the apocalypse stuff was really starting to get intense, then I feel like that might have happened closer to when Sam and Dean were going to become like when Sam was going to become Lucifer's vessel, and when like Dean was going to have to be like Michael's sword kind of deal. So that's why now it's making me think the other way, that it was probably just Loki.
Yeah.
But then the next bit that I got, that Ted and I were like talking about, was I knew Loud and Swain they were gonna have a cameo. I didn't realize it was going to be in this episode, but I'd been hearing stuff on, I can't remember where it was, online somewhere on Twitter or something. And so I knew they were going to have a cameo at some point. So I didn't, when I saw the band, I think I first saw Mike Borgia. I was like, oh my God, it's Loud and Swain. And Ted's like, what? I'm like, look, it's Loud and Swain. And
I didn't even clock it.
They were going back and forth a couple times. And then, I mean, everybody you could kind of, and Billy was just had like totally like, he was all like, he had like a lot of hair and big old like stash. And I think he had a beard. But Rob was... I will say, while we're just talking about disguises and things like that, Spate had that tash at Vegas Con, which was only a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know how long ago the episode was filmed, but that's not the kind of tash you grow in a week. So I would say it probably was his facial hair. So it didn't really have anything to do character-wise with that. Okay, so that makes more...
No. Well, if you spend that much time putting effort into growing that, and someone was like, we need you clean shaven, I feel like they'd go, no. They're not Jared and Jensen where they grow a hiatus beard. He's not J2. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, Loud and Swain.
Yeah. So I just I caught, I saw Rob, but again, he was like really like, out of all of them, I felt like they did the most to try to make him not look like anything like even Chuck related. You know what I mean? It was very different. So I was like, oh, look, that's cute. They were supposed to do a cameo. And he's like, well, what if that's, and Ted's like, well, what if that's Chuck? And I was just like, oh. So, yeah.
But what if you shut up, Ted? But what if you shut up?
So then I was just like, okay. So then it had me thinking about the way the rest of the episode progressed, where in the beginning, Mary was very much, we need to take this slow. After that kiss at the end of the last episode, which I was just like, really? Like, this is what we're doing right now? Like, you're about to die, you're going to kiss, but okay, whatever. That's what you're doing. So then it kind of sounded like with Samuel being back Mary was like thinking about, well, maybe now's when I'm going to be able to get out of hunting. Now I know my dad's safe. Things have been figured out, which they really haven't. It's just added more questions. And then at the end of the episode, Mary initiates a kiss with John. So then that had me thinking, well, is this just God fucking around again? Like trying to see what he could do to push these characters together to get to the end result that he wanted. So that was in my brain. And then they had the picture at the end of Dean in the car that ended up being, so it turns out, here's my notes. In 1972, I'm going to read this. Dean was the one that gave John a letter when he returned from Vietnam. The only thing I had a question was, did it definitely happen in Kansas? Because I'm wondering, wherever he showed up, was Dean someplace else? But it sounds like he was in Kansas. The letter was from Henry Winchester, and it said that if he was given the letter, it meant he was gone or dead. And if John wanted to find out more, he was given an address to visit in the letter. Then my brain, after I got all excited that I saw, Dean, and Karlee was like, I'm out. I started thinking,
I was out a long time. I was out a long time before that.
I started thinking, so when did Dean get the letter from Henry? Because I still want to believe that Dean is in heaven. So did he get the letter from Henry in heaven after, Dean died at the end? So then my thing is, would he have visited Henry to get more answers in Jack's open heaven? Then, okay, it's just like really like tinfoil hat stuff. Like, did he get released from heaven? Like, did Jack give him a pass, or did he time travel back, by or with Castiel? What would be the purpose? Is he trying to change everything? Does he want John and Mary to know everything together? So that's where my brain was going. Again, it's going to be nothing like that. That's what I would like to see happen. I want it to be that Dean is in heaven trying to figure all this information out, or just like taking notes or whatever. But then I'm like, does he try to get involved again to change stuff? That was where I was at. And I had another thought really quick. And now my brain is going, so they online, that picture, this is like really tinfoil hat. You're going to be like, Sandra, stop. But this is my brain just wanting to like make sense of stuff. The picture that they used was from the episode in season 6, Clap Your Hands If You Believe, about the leprechauns and the fairies and all that stuff.
That?
Well, I saw, I did see this on Twitter first. I saw the picture and somebody had made a reference. I didn't know what it was in reference to. So then when I saw it, I went back with Ted to just confirm. So I went onto Netflix and Ted's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I've got to make sure this is actually from this episode. So I went back, we watched the scene. I was like, look, see, that's the episode. So he like took a picture, compared it against the other thing. It was a whole thing. We did this for like 10 minutes.
God.
And then my brain started thinking, and again, I don't know why I do this to myself, because then that would completely not make the heaven thing a thing. But you've probably recently watched this episode, right? Or you're on season 6?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Clap your hands if you believe. So,
I did. Do you have bigger cups? I love that episode. It's one of my favorites.
So do you remember
Couldn't have placed that fucking picture in it, though.
I do the exact spot, though. Like, I do exactly where it was.
Oh, my God. No, I couldn't have placed...
It's bad. It's bad.
I couldn't have placed it. To be fair, though, I spent that episode looking at Sam's hair.
Mm.
And, like, what he'd done with, like, his sideburns and stuff, because I'm really into that.
Yeah.
And I spent most of that episode just watching Sam be soulless and badass. Wasn't really paying attention to Dean getting in and out of the car.
So I don't
that episode is one of the very, very few episodes where we get like Jared fucking. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was one of the very few. I wasn't paying shit attention to the car.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
It was all like he was all chesty stuff. It was great.
So he still had a body. According to
they had that great exchange in the diner. It's just like, can I feel the loss and sleep with the Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah. So I wasn't paying attention to shit all with Dean in that episode. So yes, go.
So The only thing I'm thinking, and this makes absolutely no sense, but for some reason I was like, what if it's somehow tied to that episode and the spot where, where Dean gets beamed up?
Uh-huh.
So I'm just thinking, what if that's where he does all this stuff, even though it's in no way related with the actual fact that he's up someplace else and something's happening? I'm trying to make sense of stuff that's not there. So then again, I just was wondering if it's going to be a weird clap your hands. I'm also wondering, Ben Edlund, I think, wrote that episode. So he's just all over the place too in terms of like stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to like info dump because I haven't listened to anybody else's theories yet. And I know that KJ does like a Wayward Parents. So I might listen to their thoughts and theories of whether they're also done and just have had enough and stuff like that. But I wanted to get all of my stuff out before I start looking for answers that other people have that probably make a lot more sense than what I spent a good hour yesterday researching and like trying to make sense of in my head about Gabriel and Loki and what the heck is happening. So Karlee, when did you tap
twice
out?
If you're being held against your will. Are you okay?
When did you tap out?
So I think maybe you need to get your Winchester theories from another source because I don't have any.
Okay.
I fully support, I will fully discuss this stuff with you, but I'm not theorizing anymore because I'm done being jerked around by the show. I'm so done with it. Okay. The one redeeming feature of that episode is Tom Welling as Samuel is exactly the same amount of asshole as Mitch Thingamajiggy is as Samuel. I can't remember his last name. I know his last name, but I can't remember how to pronounce it without looking at it, and I'm not.
I think it's Pelegi.
That one.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. He was an absolute arsehole as Samuel. Even when Dean went back in time, man was a wanker. Tom Welling comes in, also a wanker.
Yeah. Ted
Gold
said the
star
same
continuity
thing.
there.
Ted said the same thing.
Gold star. Fully on board with that. 100%. I tapped out around the time Tom Welling as Samuel, because we have to make that distinction because he's never actually going to be as good as Mitch's Samuel, but he's holding the consistency line, and I appreciate that because John gives me a lot of conflicted feelings. Because on the one hand, fuck you, John Winchester, but on the other hand, it's quite endearing. It's difficult. My feelings about it. So I tapped out when he went, here's a tattoo, or here's a design, or here's a fucking whatever the piss they're calling it. Get it tattooed so you can't be possessed. And I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this stupid fucking show. I am done with this show. I'm like, that was it. That was just like, you're not even trying to hide that you've substituted demons for a creator and you're treating them exactly the same. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done being jerked around by this show. I want to care about why Dean was the one to give John the letter and he's in Samuel's pictures. I want to care. I want to know what's happening. I just fucking don't anymore. I just don't. Yeah. Because if you're this deep into a series and you have not established, they've built this series off the back of Supernatural. It's filled with existing characters. John, Mary, Henry, Samuel. They haven't created like a whole new thing. If they'd have gone, this is what hunting was like in the 70s and had like a whole nother thing, and you could have had Jensen narrate it, that would have been fine. You should have had Jared there as well, but we'll not get into that. Please don't come at me, Twitter people. I see your discourse all the time. Stop. Please don't. If they'd just gone, I wonder what hunting was like back before the internet, or something like that. Like, what would hunting have been like in Mary's day? But it was a completely new cast of characters. I would have got right the fuck on board with that. 100%. People learn, people evolve, hunting techniques evolve, blah, 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 blah. But you've taken these established characters and you've said that they are the same characters that appear in Supernatural, and then you give them absolutely no continuity to the existing series. That bothers me. But with this far in now, that was episode 8 that just aired this week, and there's only supposed to be 13.
Mm-hmm.
And we know, we've watched Supernatural, we know that Mary and John get their memories wiped when Dean goes back. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
So to be more than halfway through this season and you've not told me where this fits into canon, or you've not told me, actually, this is an AU. This is another one of Chuck's universes, or it's this, or it's that. You've not told me where this fits into canon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done being jerked around. I want to give a fuck about why Dean is there. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I was mad before the mid-season finale about the whole like Akrita possessing people thing, and I was like, this is weak. This is stupid. They were cool when they were like monster things. That was sweet. I was in for that. That's awesome. You didn't really see that kind of like monster.
Just a monster and not like a human like a human and a monster, like a monster in a human form situation. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They all looked vaguely humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, vamps, werewolves, shapeshifters, skinwalkers, whatever.
So it was easier.
So to have an actual monster, fucking well in for that, mate. Mm-hmm. Yes. Tell me more about they possess people like demons.
Yeah.
Okay? And the way you keep them from possessing you is to tattoo a sigil to yourself. Okay. I can't theorize with you. I'm out, I'm afraid. I just don't care anymore.
That's fine. I just wanted to get it out there too, because I was just like, I just needed to like hash it out, just even in my brain, and like wanted to like, well, if I've done all this work now, might as well just talk about it on the podcast.
I'm gonna tell somebody about it. I've researched. Yeah. No, the thing is, I think your theories about like Dean and stuff are really interesting. I really do feel like I'm being jerked around here, because how do you like Supernatural established it was set in our world. It wasn't like an AU or anything. Monsters are real. The things under the bed that go bump in the night, blah, 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 blah. So how do you, like, I don't understand what they're trying to do. Because I'll be quite honest with you. The chemistry between John and Mary is at such a low boil.
Yeah.
I can't even. You could hold a lighter under a coffee cup and get more of a reaction.
Yeah.
I don't see it personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. And I realize
that's hard too. Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is how they got together and blah, blah, blah. And it was never said that, like, you know, they felt instantly in love with each other or whatever. But I just don't see it personally. So I'm not looking at this from like on how did they meet? Oh, that's nice. I know that this series is not going to end in any satisfying manner, because either they're going to wipe everything and retcon it to fit it in with Supernatural, or they're going to go, that was all a dream. It was an alternate universe. Like, there's no satisfying ending that comes out from this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still kind of mad that Sam isn't in it. And I'm trying really hard not to be. I'm trying so fucking hard. I'm trying so hard to let that shit go like fucking Elsa. And I can't. I cannot. I just cannot. And then you say to me, oh, this picture of Dean is from this episode of the show. And okay, like, Dean's been on his own before. Like, we've seen him go and get food and beer and stuff. Like, they're not joined at the hip. But if that's like an episode that they were together in, so not like, what was it? Where Sam went to, Sam left. It was in like season 5, I think. Sam left and he was like a bartender or something. And then there was that girl that was in The Walking Dead. And the hunters came and forced him drinking demon blood. But Sam and Dean were apart in that episode. So anything you could have taken from Dean, I would have been like, yeah, okay. They physically were not in the same part of the country at that time.
So the fact that they actually took Sam out of the picture too.
Was Sam supposed to be?
Sam was on the other side of the Impala. So the way they had the picture being exposed, it was just a section of it. Yeah.
I'm even more angry now. I'm even more angry. And I'm trying not to be, because Jared's let it go. Jared's a perfect Elsa. It's like, it's fine. I support this. I've let it go. I have not. I'm still mad. I'm still mad. And then doing things like that to literally be cutting Sam out. There's no reason Sam couldn't have been in that picture. So cross.
Okay.
I'm even more angry than I was.
Okay.
I'm still going to watch it because I want to see where it's going. I watch a lot of TV I hate. So I'm going to keep watching the Winchesters because I want to see what happens. But frankly, I'm more angry than invested at this point.
Gotcha.
I feel as a viewer, I feel very disrespected, very jerked around, and I'm not happy. I want a spin-off of Million Ada in the Van. I would watch the shit out of that. No, I would watch the shit out of that. Million Ada in the fucking Mystery Machine. Give them bitches a great day and get after it.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I would watch that. I would also watch Carlos sing anything, anywhere, forever. That man has the voice of a fucking angel.
Yeah.
100% he should be on the next Radio Company album. Maybe that's why it's delayed. Well, it's not delayed yet, but it's the 27th. So
yeah,
you said January, Steve. We were all there, babes. We were all there.
No.
Well, a lot of us were there. It digitally.
So my
like this.
My thinking is the only way I'm going to be satisfied with how it turns out is if Dean is in heaven and somehow gets back and is doing this kind of stuff like after. So that's where I'm at. That's where I want it to be. Like that's where
see if that was the outcome and he was just, but why would he be there to give to give John the letter?
I know, that's the question. That's the question I have.
The heaven theory is breaking down.
That's what I mean. So it's like if they're going to do they've got to figure some shit out. Again, it could if we're going off of it being Jack's heaven now and Jack can do what he wants, then maybe.
But you've made yourself, if that's how it is, they've made themselves a Terminator loop.
Mm-hmm.
If Dean is needed to get John and Mary together, then how does it exist to be needed to get to it's
like it does all that Game of Thrones stuff that makes my head like spin too. I remember like watching all that stuff about Bran and stuff like that, and I'm just like, no, how he was always there, like that kind of thing. So yeah. No, I'm slightly old school. I watched Game of Thrones, but I'm slightly older school. I'm like, this is a Terminator loop. If that's the way you're gonna go, you've made a Terminator loop, and it was dumb in the 80s when Terminator did it. And we've been mocking it ever since, but go off, I guess. Dean being in heaven and twatting about until Sam gets there is the only explanation I would accept. But that theory is crumbling rapidly. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Do we know if it got picked up for a second season? I know CW were Walker Indie didn't they? And then
did they say it was a definite yet? I felt like they didn't.
I don't know.
I felt like I just seen somebody say something recently. They're still waiting to find out if Walker Independence was picked up. I don't know about Walker.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Jared hasn't. See, the thing is, Jensen's got so many things in the wings now that makes me think maybe the Winchesters wasn't picked up because would he have time to do all that while producing the Winchesters? I don't know. But Jared hasn't said anything about needing, other than needing to get his knee fixed. Sir, knees do not move that way. Why have you done this? Oh God, I watched that video and I was like, oh God, no, that's not how knees work. Don't do that. Oh, that upset me. Like I could still see it in my head. I'm upset by this. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I am using an ad blocker. CWTV. I'm not going to turn it off now. Fight me.
So I don't know.
Oh,
they haven't said anything yet.
I just went on the CW site, and the first thing that came up was a really close up of Jared in that white cowboy hat where he's got the stubble, and it looks like he might be wearing eyeliner or mascara, and it's fucking beautiful. Shut up! I don't have a problem. Leave me alone. I'm not flicking back to it now. Leave me alone. I think he might be wearing mascara, but he's got all that lovely stubble. I just wanted to see if it said anywhere on the website, like, where do you find out what shows have been picked up?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm just waiting for somebody to say it on Twitter or whatever, and then everybody to have a meltdown as to what got picked up and what didn't. So they could just go full, they could just go crazy with the episodes and just be like, which isn't good if they do get picked up again, because then what happens, you know? So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that was it. That's what I just wanted to ramble on about what I thought it might be, what my theories were, and stuff like that. So
I love hearing your theories. I do. I'm more invested in your theories than I am in the show now.
Well, that's fine. So I'll just, if you don't watch again, I'll just keep you updated. And if something really crazy happens and then you want to get really upset, or I want to get you really upset, I will let you know what's going on if you decide not to watch it.
No, I'll watch it. So I just went on Wikipedia, and it doesn't say it's been. I'm looking at Walker.
Yeah.
So it was renewed for a second season. It was renewed for a third season, and then it doesn't say if it's been renewed for a fourth season.
Yeah, because the one. So see, my thing is, and I don't know, like they haven't even like shown Gotham Knights yet. So how do you even know whether or not to renew that? Like that's got to be another one in contention as well. And I think they only have like a handful of shows that they're renewing, because whatever's going on with CW and them cutting corners, or just like, you know, not having the funds to renew all the shows. So I think it's like a death match thing, you know, where it's like maybe only 5 or 6 shows they're supposedly going to renew, and they have a lot more than that. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to go on there. My thing is, when we're talking about like people with like, they've got a lot of baskets. Like Jensen's got a lot of baskets. Jensen's got the ability to move things around, and maybe with whatever he's got going on with the Chaos Machine and the Warner Brothers thing, maybe there's always a chance that the Winchesters gets picked up. If CW doesn't, it could go to a streaming service. It could go somewhere else. We've seen shows do that before. So there's always that chance. So I don't know if they're investing enough time and effort into like, what would this pan out as over like, say, a 2 or 3 season series, right? Because they only have so much time to play with anyway. Like Dean goes back in 73. They're in 72 the first time. And at that point, you know, John knows nothing about it, and Samuel's bald. So what's happening between then and there? Like I'm ready for like the most stressful situation to have occurred where Samuel just loses all of his hair. And you don't even see you still don't see Deanna, right? Like Mary's mom. She's still like gone doing whatever.
She's
so
off
like,
supposed to be hunting as well, isn't she?
Yeah. So it's just like, you know, are you waiting because you might, you know, get picked up and then you'll have another quote unquote big name to like play that part, like that kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, we'll see.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. It's
Jensen, you've lost Karlee completely.
You haven't. Oh no, don't say that. I'm so broke right now. You can't wish that on me, lady with the tulpa powers. No. If you're going to wish that on me, you have to wish him to be in my part of the country when he comes over next month.
He will be.
He isn't.
Oh, well, he's closer.
He won't.
Yeah, I think it's all sold out.
Okay, I understand that you guys can drive for 8 hours and still be in the same state. I get that. But where Crossroads is taking place is like the other end of the country from me.
Okay.
It's not even close.
Okay. Do you know anybody that's going that could go in your stead?
No. So unless Jensen gets over to England and is like, you know, is it Brighton? Is that where it's going to be? Let me just check where Crossroads 6 is going to be.
Wherever it is, I know it's too far for you. We've already looked it up once, and I know it's too far. Yeah.
I can't remember where it is. I googled Crossroads 6, and you know, Google goes, people also ask. The first people also ask question is, where can I meet Jensen Ackles? If you'd like to meet Jensen, attend a supernatural convention. Oh, that's cute as fuck. I love it. Let me just find out where it's going to be held. Yeah, it's in Brighton.
Okay.
Which is, hang on, let me share my screen. No, so we're getting meta up in here, folks. Let me go to Google Maps and I will show you exactly how far away Brighton is from me. Because you can't get much further away and still be on land.
Okay.
So again, I appreciate that y'all can drive for like 8 hours and still be in the same state. But that's not the case over here.
Well, no, not where. So Delaware's definitely not. You
not
you go
Delaware,
to Delaware
but like
an hour and a half. That's if you.
But
go
like
from
Texas, you know, like
yeah,
the
or
the
like
biggest
Florida or
states.
something. Yeah, like yeah.
So yeah, okay, it's only 4 hours
it's
away.
half of the time it took us to get to Charlotte. It's only 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay, so here's me, right? There's the border between England and Scotland.
Oh,
the
you're all the way
only
up.
way
Wait
you
a minute,
could get.
Where are you? You're in the middle.
I'm there.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
I'm there.
Right,
where
it's
my
on the
thing
very-
is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where it says Leeds,
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. Okay.
Mhm.
The only place in the UK you could get that is like further away is Land's End. And that's
Okay.
like all the way down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just a long way away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like for people who obviously are not looking at this map, which is everybody apart from Sandra. From my location, Brighton is about 250 miles away, which I know if you're listing in America, you're like, fuck you, that's a commute. I get it. But in the UK, that's like 4 hours is not a day's worth of traveling, obviously, but like you wouldn't be turning around and doing another 4 hours in the same day. You know,
Mhm.
you'd be like, and now we stay here until tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a fair way away by British standards.
Well, we don't do
so-
that anymore either, Carly. We're too old. We wouldn't do that all in one day anymore. Now, I know Ted, when he was younger, would have done that in a day, but no, not anymore. We can't. We wouldn't do that in
Yeah.
a day. It's a bad idea. For many reasons.
So unless Jensen is like, Brighton's nice, because I imagine he's probably going to take a stop off in London, especially if he's got Daniil and
I'm
all
gonna
the
go to
kids with him.
Leeds.
Yeah. Unless Jensen is like, you know what? The south of England's great, but I think it would be better if we went where the cold lived. Not all the way cold, in the middle.
Mhm.
In the middle. And then he's like, Leeds. And then by some fucking weird fortune. Hang on a minute. When is he coming up? Because I will be in Leeds in March, and now I'm scared. If he's coming up around the same time I will be in Leeds, I would be very fucking concerned.
So I think it's in April because the way it's set, it's supposed to
No.
be.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
in
right
March.
after. Is it? Wait a minute. Is it March or
Yeah.
April? March when?
No, it's March the 10th to March the 12th.
Okay. For some reason,
So
I thought there
that's
was
really
something going on in
reassuring.
April that he was going to be over there.
It's okay. It's okay. Because I have no plans to be in Leeds around those dates. I have plans to be in Leeds on the 4th. So unless he comes over super fucking early to tour the bastard UK beforehand, my odds of bumping into Jensen and being able to go, I'm sorry you heard me slagging off your band and your TV show on my podcast. Please accept my sincere apologies. Don't do that to me. Don't talk to
Okay.
me like that.
I can't.
Don't be like, don't put it out into the universe that Jensen has lost me as a fan of the Winchesters,
I would
because then it
wanna-
will happen.
I would want to tell us something much better. So I want to.
Yeah, you told her surprise Jared in
Mhm.
Leeds on the
Mhm.
4th.
Okay.
Super into that.
Okay.
Super into that.
Well,
Well, this took a track. We definitely went off road.
We did. So should we wrap up?
Yeah, let's wrap up. Let us know if your camp, let's see where this is going, or camp, I'm done with this fucking show. Let us know. No discourse. We are not judging.
Yeah.
I am fully invested in Sandra's investment in this show. And she's gonna wind me up with it, apparently. But we're not here to judge. We're not here to create any kind of discourse. Lord knows the fandom doesn't
There's
need any
enough.
opportunity to
There's
do
enough.
that.
There's no need. There's so much already. There's no need. Yeah.
So I don't hate the Winchesters. I don't hate Jensen. I don't hate any of the cast or crew of the Winchesters. It's
They're just
not
mad.
a show for me.
Yeah. And they're mad.
I'm-
They're mad at the
no.
way certain things have transpired. You are though.
Don't say I am. Don't say that. I'm mad at. What am I mad at that nobody can come after me for? I'm mad at the way the story is being told. That does not make it a bad story. It might all come out great. Currently, I'm cross. Don't come at me on Twitter, for the love of God, please. But tell us, are you still firmly invested in the Winchesters? Or are you like,
or
done
just
with this
done?
now?
It's too much. I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be interested in hearing. So, yeah. So how to do that? If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com or reach out to us on Twitter at idlinginthe_D_Impala. If you'd like to make your voice a male, check the description for a link to send us a voice message. You can find links to our personal socials and our AO3 accounts in the description. And there's also a link to my author website with some of my original fiction.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot.
It's a big mouthful.
It is. Big deep breath before I get started on that one.
She has the bulk of things to do because we do keep moving this around. But I will just say, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, leave us a comment or a review wherever you access our podcast to make sure you don't miss anything. And, we like comments, we like reviews, we like to know how you guys are feeling. Reach out, connect, leave us a comment, send us an email, blah, 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 blah. Also, in the description, there will be links to the current causes that we are championing. I'm pretty sure this one is going to go out within the next kind of week. So I'd just like to draw attention, extra especially to the Ukraine relief stuff that's in the description, because it's getting a bit heavy over there again. I mean, it's never not been heavy, but it's garnering media attention again, which means it's probably 10 times worse than we think it is over there. So if you can, take a look at them. If you can help out, every little bit helps. But with that, we will say thank you for joining us in the back seat, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.